wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingrid Jones, and I have back on the show Uncle James Ali Bashir. Uncle, how are we doing?
Doing all right, man. I'm like Ukrainian mountaintop.
Yeah, you look a bit like one of the who Hefner, the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, well, I'm at Bukovel, the top of Ukraine, the Ukrainian mountaintop. Don't get it.
Okay, right. So we've seen a little bit of the training camp. We've seen Usyk had that exclusive interview. We thank you for that. And we got to speak a bit to Sergey, even though the connection wasn't the greatest up in the mountains. But
yeah, the mountains makes it hard to get a lot of phone calls and stuff here too, because the mountains blocks a lot of the connections.
Okay. So let's talk about how your man Usyk is doing.
Usyk is in a good frame of mind. He's training well. We've got 5 good solid sparring partners we're working with. We're working a couple of young guys. We've got 2 more guys coming in. Some young blood. You know, we're going to bring in 2 young amateurs for speed and strength. And, you know, we're looking to bring in Eddie Chambers and Antonio Tarver. This would have been a vacuum of wisdom. You know, a great credit to camp. I had really got Antonio Tarver. He's such a dynamic personality. Boxing, a good game, a great love game. If I had gotten Eddie Chambers and Antonio Tarver, especially Tarver, because of his personality, that would help young Usyk immensely, you know. So I really wanted Tarver to be here, but he couldn't be, you know. We couldn't satisfy his financial requests, you know. That was the bottom line. It's still with the work outside. I understand that he has some obligations inside the States in his commentary positions. But having Tarver here to box with Oleksandr Usyk would have been a great vacuum of wisdom and application, because this man has never been stopped in all the fights. I don't even think he's even been cut. So that tells you something about the ability of Antonio Tarver and how much he could have been a credit to young Usyk in this fight going against Slovakia and Poland.
I was thinking.
I really missed that opportunity. And I tried my best.
I was thinking about Arthur Spilka, because I think Spilka and Glowacki's style are quite similar. That herky-jerky sort of. They've got quite a similar style. Did you ever consider Spilka the bigger man to spar with Usyk?
I wouldn't let anybody from Poland come in the box. I don't think that would settle good with the people that are working with us in the training camp. You know, brain trust. I don't know. It's tough enough that we're going to have to go into Poland to compete against a guy who is the world champion, who is managed by Al Heyman, and the fact that we have to go into his hometown, in his home country, to try to win the fight. So I don't think it would have been a good look to try to get anybody from Poland, because the allegiance would have been there for the Polish people. They couldn't help it, you know. I might be my best friend, but
that's true. It was great to have to talk to Usyk and get to know a little bit more about him. My impressions of Usyk was that he's quite a very warm guy at heart, a bit of a character. He's a little crazy as well, a bit loco, which is good to have in a fighter. Got a real crazy side to him, which I like that.
Yeah, he's a fun-loving guy. He's a family-oriented guy. Everybody in camp gets along well, and that's a good camp. When you can have that much harmony in a camp, that makes for a good training camp. He knows his job. He knows what he has to do. He won the World Amateur Games. He's won the European Games. He's won the Olympic gold medal. And now he's 9-0 with 9 KOs as a professional. He's trying to to break the record of the great Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield took the title, the world title, in a tough fight with the white close decision in a split decision fight for the cruiserweight championship with 12 fights, and that was big news. The fight for the championship in 12 fights, and now young Usyk is coming in and trying to upset that by taking the title in 10 fights. Of course, we caught a lot of flack from the media, the skeptics, and critics alike. They say that it's too soon for Usyk to compete for the world title with just 10 pro fights. But I say no, it's not too soon, because he's competed over 300 amateur fights. And in those 300 amateur fights, if you're not prepared, then you'll never be prepared.
What do you think Usyk can take away from those amateur fights on the global stage and bring into the fight against Glowacki? Would you have met Glowacki 1,000 times before?
I think that he can take away and diversity. In those fights, and most of them European styles. So I think that he can take the fact that he's dealt with and solved all kinds of styles. Glowacki is a hard puncher, tough guy mentally, but I'm sure inside those, I think it was 325, 330 amateur fights, I think that he's seen that so many times. Tough guys, tough European guys, tough styles, southpaws, orthodox. He's learned to deal with that. He's learned to expect that kind of thing in boxing. And then he has decided to embark on a professional career because he loves the sport. So, yeah, I think that he'll come through this fight pretty well.
You've got a very tight-knit team. Why do you think your team is so tight-knit?
Because of the lack of ego.
Okay.
Ego. Nobody's egotistic. Nobody's trying to jump ahead of the apple cart, so to speak. Everybody's in line with what they have to do. Every now and then, something might lean to the left or lean to the right, but we correct it within our own circle when we get back to business.
Talk to me about your relationship with your assistant trainer, Sergey.
Sergey is a young guy, 30, 31 years old, and he has a lot to learn, but he's willing to learn. That's the thing about it. He's willing to learn. I'm teaching him how to be an assistant trainer. A lot of these guys hasn't been exposed to boxing on a big scale. But I had to learn how to be an assistant trainer. I had grand ideas about being a boxer, but I didn't have the tools. You don't have the tools, there's no sense in even getting involved. Going back then, my trainer says, look, you want to get your brains knocked out, or you want to learn how to teach other people? Sounds good to me. I said, no, because I couldn't see. I was born with impaired vision. I was born with impaired vision. And the trainers just made sense to me. You can't see. You need eyes to be a boxer. And if you can't respond to those punches that's coming at you, there's no sense in trying. And I took a page from that trainer's book, and I tell other young men, I see them in the gym, I pull them to the side and say, listen, boxing is not for you. Either you got two left feet, your reflexes are too dull, you can't take a punch, or, you have to tell people, because it will save these guys from getting damaged, maybe even killed. And I've done that with numerous guys. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't, but I felt it was my job, my position as a trainer, to tell them that, hey, this is not for you.